Hello and welcome to another camera review. Today we are unboxing one of the best lenses, cinema style lenses in the market, and this is one of the newer generation of lenses that have come out from Tokina, and I'm basically talking about Tokina 11 to 16mm at T3. First of all, we'll open, see what's inside, talk a little bit about what this lens does, and more importantly, we'll discuss its features a little bit. And this will be in two parts, of course. There will be another video showing how we can use this lens effectively in our filming applications. Now, before I begin opening this, let it be known that there will be other lenses that will be coming up from Tokina's lineup, and basically they are in two versions. One is the ATX version, and they have the Cinema Vista version. Cinema Vista versions are superior lenses with 300 degree of rotation in terms of the focus style, and they are of higher grade. But these lenses perform equally well, and they have been adopted to be used on cinema type of gearing. That means that you can put follow focus and other instruments to make your filming applications a lot easier. Now we will discuss those in more detail in our next review, and let's go ahead and begin with this unboxing. Alright, so this is the box, and this is Tokina 11-16mm T3. It says 4K ready. It's got aspherical surfaces. This is very important, and if you consider that this lens is a ultra wide angle, you want to just remove as much of the distortion as possible. So this lens is made with aspherical surfaces, and that allows the lens to perform spectacularly as far as using it wide open at T3. Also here it's very nicely stated that Kenko Tokina, it says it's got a 3-year warranty. It's the ATX. Now it's important to distinguish that this is a cinema ATX lens and not the Vista. Vista series that is from Tokina is a superior lens with a 300 degree rotation in terms of having it in focus. The focus rotation is much better, and that is the focus draw, as they say. And this is also a very good lens, but this is an adaptation from the photography lenses. Of course, a lot more precision went into making in these lenses because they are parfocal, which means that they will perform exceptionally well if you are doing going from 11 to 16 millimeters. And it will not change the focus as it does in photography lenses. Also, more importantly, this lens does not have a lot of focus breathing that is seen in a lot of lenses, and that's what it means by focus breathing, is that if you focus in one area and you try to focus at another area, and that focus will shift at times, and this doesn't shift, which is wonderful. Now I'm going to open the top here, and the first thing we see, as you can see here, is the lens hood. So let's open that up and have a look at it. Now this is not padded, it's just one thing to hold the lens. It has a kind of a velvety interior, but it's nothing to write home about. But it does serve the purpose of protecting the lens from at least dust, which is important. Now here again, we see that it's nicely packaged to protect the lens. We take out the lens hood. Lens hood is extremely important, although you may want to use other types of equipment to shield the lens elements from getting light from the exterior, especially from the sides. That's why we have barn doors on a lot of things. This is has a BH77A, It has a velvety interior. You can see it. This is extremely important if you are filming, because they will have light bouncing off, and this is designed so that the young vloggers or cinematographers can use this lens without having to buy additional equipment that they would need for professional filming purposes. And here we go. Let's open this one here. Oh, by the way, this is important. This keeps the lens from getting any fungus, molds, or anything. And as we open it, you'll see that this is where the lens is. And of course, it's sealed in plastic. So we open the plastic here, take out the lens. And the first thing we see is it's extremely well made. It's heavy, weighs about 780 grams, and that is a hefty weight if you're comparing it to regular MFT Micro Four Thirds lenses. I mean, if you compare this to a Panasonic's lens, like the 20mm or the 17mm, this really is much heavier, but it's not plasticky. It is actually made of solid metal and glass elements. And if you look at the way it's designed, it is designed to be used as a proper cinema lens. And here we go from 11 to 16mm. We have T stops, T3 to, it opens up to all the way to 22, which is very nice. It is extremely nice. It's very buttery smooth, the way you will expect the quality to be from like a Leica or a Zeiss lens. This is even better than anything I've tested in the recent times. Of course, the focus is very important. You see that there are 3 different focus items here. This one is to go from the aperture. This is to change the focal length, and this is to focus. Now these have these grooves. These grooves are designed for focus follow systems with 0.8 pitch, so that you can actually use it via external control, or you can use it with a dial on the side. It allows you to see how you are going to get the focus right. Here you see these markings here. They are in yellow and this orangey, bright orangey. It makes it very easy to read in the sunlight, and that is very important. Sometimes you see them being marked on white, and white sometimes is not so easy to read when it's bright sunlight. One of the things you will notice is that these numbers are not on the side. Sometimes they're on the side for proper cinema lenses, so that somebody who's full focus on the side can see actual numbers. Most of the times they use focus markings. And also another important factor to notice is that it has hard stops. So that means when it is focusing, it is going to be able to find the focus points very, very well. Some of the lenses, like the Canons, they spin forever, and that means you're not going to be able to know where the focus ends, where the focus begins. And that is an issue, especially with focus follows, because you don't know exactly whether you have reached the infinity or the closest focus point. Now, another important thing to notice is the 0.35. Written here is 35 millimeters. It's a relatively close distance, especially for a wide angle, and it goes to infinity. Now, this is not the 300-degree rotation that we have in the Vista series. Vista series is exceptionally well made. They are designed to compete with Zeiss's and Leicas. This one here is designed to be used as a cinema lens. It's been adapted. It's parfocal. It gives you basically all you need, but you don't have that huge focus draw to get excellent focus that you would have in other cases. But the one thing that is important to notice that is this is a very wide angle, so you are pretty much going to have just about everything in focus if you are using it. And this lens is a MFT, which is a Micro Four Thirds. You see it, it's a smaller opening here, and there is the E mount. We can get it in Canon mount and the PL mount. Now, If you are going to buy the PL mount, there is another version, which is the second version, which is 300-degree throw on the focus, and it's well made. And here you can see the lens elements. It's beautiful. You can take a thread here, which is a 77mm thread. It has 9 aperture blades. They are coated, so you get that beautiful bokeh. And it's got 13 elements in 11 groups. That is also important. That means it's a complex lens. It was designed to remove as much of the distortion as possible, remove as much of the ghosting and comas from the lens as possible. Also, you see these holes here. These are, you can put these pins in it and you can use it manually as such. And that's a very good thing to have. Most lenses don't have it. One thing that I would love to have seen is a support thing that you could attach this lens to. For example, if you wanted to support it with a kind of a tripod, you could have a kind of a hole here, and you could just mount it on. It would have been perfect. But this lens still can handle the weight of the camera, especially the GH5 that has just been released, and this will perform very well with it. Now, also another thing that is important to note is that it's declicked, which means that it's perfect for cinema. Most of the times the photography lenses are clicked, so when you are going to change the focus and the aperture, you see the aperture jumping from one to the other, and it's not a smooth pull, but you can do a very smooth pull with this one. Also, it's a T-stop, it's not an f-stop. In cinema we use T-stops, which is, this is a T3. In f-stop will be 2.8, and this lens is actually manufactured in photography version, which is f2.8. The lens elements are about the same. They haven't been altered, but the mechanics haven't altered to provide use with cinema style equipment. And also, if you're going to use it for a GH5, I mean, this is a bargain for what it is, for the quality that it is. It is an incredibly well built lens, and also it's made in Japan, not like the Nikon lenses that are made in China. God, that is something that we need to correct, because the quality of lenses in the most recent times have plummeted, and that is because the quality aspects have decreased and lenses have lost their long-term usability. And this lens is a return to those times when you can buy this lens, use it for 20-25 years, and it still will service you very well. And the cap here is extremely well built. It just closes in. We got the blue Tokina writing here. Now, it is important to note that this lens will have a very nice aperture change, but also because the MFT mounts, the 11mm will go to 22, the 16 will go to 32, and the 35mm dimensions. So you are actually buying a 22mm lens all the way up to 32, and that is a relatively wide angle. It will serve most applications. And basically, if you consider that most cinematographers love using 28mm, this gives you that beautiful range of the most usable range. And I would personally love to see how this lens performs. Now, next week I will be putting this lens on the GH5. We'll see how the quality is, how it performs. From what I have seen of these tests, they look amazing. But what will happen is, once we see the results, once we can do a side-by-side comparison with other lenses, I'm sure the Tokina will hold up very well. Having said that, Tokina is very keen on getting into cinema line business, and that is very important because it's far more profitable than doing lenses for photography. And that's one of the reasons, like Zeiss has ultra primes, it has master primes, it has the CP2 lenses, which is also cinema versions of their photographic type of lenses. So I would say that this lens in itself is a statement saying you can get a cheap lens for a very good price and the quality will be there. This is throwing kind of a monkey wrench into business, because most cinema lenses start around $5,000. This one you can purchase it around $1,500. They have occasionally gone on sale. You can buy it for $1,100 and even have seen it go even lower than that on certain occasions. But regardless of what price you buy this, it is a bargain. And I'm sure Tokina will come out with other lenses that will back up this lens's focal length. So we might see a lens coming from 16 to 35 probably very soon, and that will complete most of the focal range that is needed for most cinematographers. And good thing about it is, once you buy this lens, you don't need to go and buy most lenses that come in the prime series. This quality will be just about as good as the prime lens. And if you, for example, considering to buy the 20mm, the 15, or if you want to go to Voigtlander, buy a 17.5mm and 25, this just basically covers most of the usable range that you would normally use a Micro Four Thirds camera on. And I think that we're gonna see more and more Tokina lenses being released, and they will probably produce pretty amazing images. And one other last thing I want to mention is, if you buy this lens, please ensure you buy a good case, because these lenses, they don't like to be dropped, they don't like to be banged around, and you certainly don't want to make dents in these grooves, although they are very solidly made. If you get a dent in these grooves, your focus follow will not function as properly. So do get a good lens. And if you can use this, I would suggest using this for lighter setups, especially if you're shooting daytime. Other than that, I think you would probably be safe to say you have made a good decision on buying a properly well-made lens for cinema purposes. I hope you have found this review informative. We'll be discussing more in detail other types of lenses that are coming up from different brands and comparing them. And please do like our video, and I would appreciate if you subscribe to our channel. And of course, in the description section, there is a donation button if you want us to make more videos like these. And all your donations, whether it's a $1 to $5, anything that you may donate, helps us to create higher quality video content. And if you have any comments, please do share them. I will try to answer them as much as possible. And I thank you for watching.